So we're here at the OG Mid-America Customs, where it all started, which is where we keep the OG rides because they're our cars and we don't have room for them at the new shop anyways. So we're going to be starting a series called The Build Sheet, which is where we're going to go over cars, tell you all the details, the specs, what's done to them, what they run, the backstory on them, talk to the owners, all that. So we figured what better way to start that than with our own cars. Adam is actually putting a new motor in his car right now, so we figured we'd start with my car, even though my car's kind of tore apart at the moment also, but minor details. So this is the Maliboost. We'll start with going under it first. We'll show you all my secrets, tricks of the trade. Started out 1980 Malibu. It's got the frame notched back here, as you can tell. I ran crossbar right here to mount my anti-roll bar. It's got, you'll see in the trunk later, it's got bars that they come to the top of the shock towers that are triangulated. Triangulated bars back here to the parachute mount along with this bar. I've got dual tranny coolers because my car likes to take forever to spool and get that stuff nice and hot. I made my own custom floor pans for the trunk out of like 1/8" steel. My buddy Pete Johnson gave to me for free. They weigh a crap ton, but they were free, so that's why I used them. I've got a stock 12 bolt. Don't even have the axle tubes welded or anything. It's got 35 spline Moser axles and a Moser spool with a 342 gear. I put these really cheap shock mounts on it probably 6 years ago, and I've since just cut and notched them to clear everything I've ever wanted them to clear, as in shock wise. We're actually just now putting new QA1 double adjustables on this thing because I had a great set of Alden Americans, which worked really well for a long time, but I need, for the no prep stuff we're doing now, I need a lot more travel, and at the moment I'm working with them to try to get a set that have the amount of travel I need, but also are double adjustable. So in the meantime, I'm going to be running these QA1s. I've got these UMI bolt-on brackets here to where I can change my bar placement, which will in turn change my instant center and change the way the car acts when you launch and as you're going down the track. Got some Edelbrock double adjustable, actually they are double adjustable upper control arms. Got this fancy B&M cover with these stud girdles on it to help from blowing this thing completely apart. It's been together for 7 years now. Been together for 7 years now and still has not broken axle tube, knock on wood. Had no issues out of it. This is a TRZ billet anti-roll bar I bought 2016 and installed in here. I've got Willwood disc brakes in the back, drag brakes. They work great. Got this. This is from Indiana Clutch and Joint, or Joint and Clutch. I don't even know what they're called. This is like a $300 steel drive shaft, but I've had it in here for just like the rear end. I've had it in since 2013. Never had an issue out of it. 1350 U-joint and pinion. Yeah, as you can see here, I triangulated and braced the torque boxes where the control arms bolt to the frame, because a 4-link, it pushes on these and pulls on these when you launch, and my old car, it actually bent the frame. It shoved these all the way into the floor because they were not braced properly. And G-bodies, you'll have a lot of issues with that. So I braced from the cage down and tried to make that as stiff as possible. If you move up here, you'll see my, just like a universal drive shaft loop. This is my custom made tubular tranny mount, which is actually a slider, so I can unbolt this side, slide it in, unbolt this, swing it back, drop the tranny, swing it back in, so that way I'm not fighting with trying to get it in, this and that. It's kind of just like universal universally adjustable. Got a, I don't even know what brand this is. I think it's Dead and Bear. Yeah, this is Dead and Bear Power Glide. Been rebuilt by RPM Transmissions. It's got Cohen, I think it's a Cohen valve body in it. It's got 180 straight cut gears, deep pan. Got these quick connect buoys. These things will save your life if you're in a tight spot when you're in your training tunnel. I actually cracked a Power Glide case one time because I didn't have these and I was trying to get my end fittings on and off, and they're pipe threads, so they get bigger as you tighten them, and I tightened it too tight and cracked it. So these are a very good investment. They're like 80 bucks. PTC 9.5 inch bolt together converter, so that way when we're doing radial racing, or if we are doing no prep racing, I can change the stator and make it looser or tighter. And then you get to the most expensive and important part of the build. This is the stock LS motor that I paid $1 for from our buddy Kenny. That makes about 1,300 horse. This is a balancer that one of our buddies had that actually I think flew apart at one point, but somebody put back together and then they gave it to me for free. This is the big intercooler that I backed into with my truck, so I'm actually taking this apart, or taking the front end apart, and gonna fix a bunch of brackets that I bent when I backed into it.
So if you see right here, this is where the third turbo was mounted. It actually ate, so just the pure Venturi alone ate some of the.
What happened to that bar in there? That big dent.
That's from the turbo.
Oh, okay.
Because that's if you don't interrupt, I would actually tell you all that you wanted to know.
But we'll lower the car now after I tell you about these shocks. These are shocks that I bought for $100 off of a buddy because he had them since like 1990 something and bought new ones for his Monte Carlo, but they're double adjustable, so I bought them, and I actually made some custom washer spacers to space them up to give me more travel with longer bolts. And then I used Adam's old used QA1 springs that he had to throw in there. Basically everything on my car's been given to me or bought secondhand. This is a Chevelle steering box, manual gearbox, and this is a Iceman Products, I think, tubular core support. It weighs like literally 3 pounds or something. So now we can lower the car, and I'll show you everything else that is stock, just like these stock control arms and stock brakes and stock steering. Alright, so you see here we got a Amazon special throttle body with a HD clamp welded to it, but we got a $700 intake that it's bolted to. Holley high ram, got Holley fuel rails, got a little snuff and just a little bump of nitrous if I need it. Twin billet 71 force induction turbos that are locked up, so we're getting rid of them because they don't work. Two tile wastegates, MBR wastegates that are awesome. I have a tile blow-off valve that you can't see because the tube's off right now. This is a factory replacement alternator with ICT billet, or no, this is billet speed relocation bracket for LS1 offset, which gave me a lot of clearance that I needed. Holley Dominator fuel regulator. Got an LS1 water pump. And really that's it for the engine. It's stock coil packs. It's got BGR valve springs. It's got some weird cam. Nobody knows what it even is in it, but it works. So we're gonna leave that in there. We got a Holley throttle cable bracket that works well, and that's it. I did all the fab work, which you can't really tell for right now because a lot of it is off because once again it was bent when I backed into it with my truck. But I put these bars in here to, you know, help stiffen the front of the car. These bars here we put so I could mount the front plate, which is actually a MAK front plate for LS. And then if you'll move into here, you can see the roll cage that I did. Actually, this gray part of the cage was already in the car when I got it, but I added all the other bars, like these bars. I added the fiberglass tubs, the floor pans, these door bars here. I added rocker bars. This is a full frame car. You don't actually need rocker bars, but I wanted to be extra safe. As you can tell, look at the car. So I added these rocker bars, dash bar. It's got a fancy shifter in it, parachute lever in there. Got me a bracket racing trans brake button. There's my super fancy bump button. I got 2 Kirkies I got off Craigslist for 75 bucks. Those things have been in there since day one. Those are awesome. You can look up there. I've got an ARC switch panel. It works great. I love it. And we got a Holley HP EFI system down there under all that wiring. And that's it. We got some CO2 back there for boost control. And that's all there is to it. I guess we can show you in here. This is a super heavy duty trunk lid. It weighs a lot. Put us for weight distribution. We got some trim back here. That's still back here from when we painted it. But like I was talking about before, these are my bars that I ran back here to brace. These go to the top of the shock towers. These brace the frame. This comes back here to stiffen the frame up back here, because this is where like 90% of the stress when you launch is in a car. That's why it's X braced here, and everything is just like triangulated. Triangulation is like the strongest form of bracing you can do. So that's why everything you see is kind of triangulated. That was my goal behind that. These are twin Holley 12-1800 Dominator fuel pumps, 10-gallon fuel cell. That's my boost box. That's where all the crankcase pressure goes. So when we blow up the engines, it doesn't blow oil up out there. It blows it all back here. MSD solid state relay. These relays are awesome. I don't know how they work, but Adam does, because he does all the wiring. They work great. And that's all I got for you. This is a parachute, Stroud parachute I bought for 100 bucks from a buddy back in the day. It's like 10 years old, but it works, so I keep it. Here's my trailer hitch when I want to go for a street cruise and take a trailer. What is this?
This? That's for my boat.
Oh, okay.
I haul a boat.
Okay.
So, or,
why do you haul a boat?
Well, I mean, you just never know.
Oh, in case you want to get out of the driveway.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get into. Or I can haul a moped, a pit bike, you know.
Gotcha.
Basically,
Camper.
when I go to races, people always have to have me fix their cars for them.
Okay.
So I'm always everywhere. I'm always shucking and jiving. I'm all over the place. So I'll use this trailer hitch to haul my. I've got 18 pit bikes, 41 mopeds. I've got pretty much anything to get me where I need to go as quick as possible. Okay. So yeah, basically what I was saying is that this is 100% a professional race car. There's honestly no one out there that can touch me.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily the hard parts that are in the car. It's the knowledge I've accrued over my years of racing.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much the best.
Yeah. I think this is the way she'll stay for a long time. Gonna win a bunch of no prep races this year. That's it. Motherfucker gonna